Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Gift of Giving. My name is Stephen Murray, and I'm the host of this program. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, this is the program that focuses on nonprofits, 501c3s, and foundations right here in the state of Nevada. And today, I would like to welcome to our program Cherie Cornell, and she is the founder and executive director of Real Talk Youth Impact Program. Welcome to the program, Cherie. Thank you for taking time out and being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you do amazing work from what I can see on your website.
Thank you.
Let's give our viewers an insight. Let's start by asking you, you were the founder of this organization. Can you give us a little bit of the history of the organization and what its mission is, what you're actually trying to accomplish?
Sure. So I created this program in 2012. I actually was incorporated. And the reasons behind a lot of that, there's like a threefold part as to why I created the program. But to answer the question of the mission, my goal is to really just give these kids an opportunity for a positive change, give them hope, give them dreams, and allow them to have some type of positive activities to get involved in so they can become our future leaders. You know, we want them to be productive citizens. So that was the bigger picture as to how and why the program was developed. So the threefold part as to why the program was created, through my background, we'll talk about the books down the line with the interview, but I grew up in a large family of 12, and I was number 9 out of the bunch. And so this is the first part of why I started the program. And out of the 12, there was 8 boys, and 6 of them ended up in the system. So, that sparked a different interest in my life where I just didn't understand why. And I wanted to know why people do things and get into trouble and end up in the system. And we had a 2-parent household. And there was a lot, I could tell you my story, but all 11 siblings have a different story of how we grew up. So that was one part of the reason why I joined, because some of my brothers had probation officers, parole officers. I didn't know what those people were, but I just knew that I wanted to be doing what they were doing. Had no idea what it was. So that was part of the reason why I had opened up the program. The second reason was there's 2 folks in my life, Mr. and Mrs. Batista, that totally changed the trajectory of my life. I was an athlete. I am an athlete, but I was an athlete growing up. I was really, really good at playing softball and basketball, baseball, you name it. All 8 brothers, how couldn't you be, right? So I did not realize how good I was. I just loved playing ball. And so in the 10th grade, I was introduced to Mr. and Mrs. Batista. I had made the varsity softball team. I played basketball in the fall and played varsity softball in the spring. And I had the opportunity to meet them. And their daughter was a senior. So she was she received a scholarship to go to the University of Arizona. And I just, like I said, just started playing, and they took a liking to me, and they saw that I had some extraordinary talent, and they said that I should be playing travel softball. And I didn't know what that was. It's competitive softball. They told me what it was, and they also said it involved money. I said, well, we're broke. We're poor. Basically, we don't have the funds. You got to talk to my mother and father about that. So, and they did, and my parents gave the green light. They took me under their wing for that entire summer. They had me try out for a team. I made the team, and I played with their daughter for about 3.5 months because she was getting ready to leave to go to the University of Arizona. She was a pitcher, and she was the second Latina to get a scholarship to the University of Arizona. So, but she left. Mr. and Mrs. Batista took me under their wing and would drive me 2 days a week, an hour to an hour and a half for practice, not asking anything in return of my parents, and would feed me and take care of me like I was their own daughter.
Oh, how nice.
Yes, so that was another part of the reason. And to make a long story short, they did this for almost a year and a half and never asked my parents for a dime. And set it up to the point where I had to pay no fees, essentially, on this team, with the exception of $10 a night at a hotel room when we would travel to play in tournaments. And the unfortunate thing was my parents could never see me play because they were always short of money. and taking care of the other kids. So all that said, Mr. and Mrs. Batista really are the reasons why I'm sitting here in front of you, because that little bit of time, a year and a half that I played travel ball, just starting into travel ball, I received a scholarship. I received 3 offers, and I took UNLV as the offer to come and play ball here. And so I left California at 17, scholarship here to UNLV, and never looked back. And so they're the reasons behind why I'm doing what I'm doing wholeheartedly. And the third part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I ended up working in the system. I was a juvenile parole officer for 5.5 years. I was a federal probation officer for 15.5 years. I teach at the criminal justice level at the community college here at CSN. I teach in the criminal justice department. And I also worked at what we call here Child Haven. And that is a facility where they take those kids who are in protective custody, they house them there until the courts decide whether they need to return to the homes or go into foster care. I worked there for 9 years part-time. So I've seen the ins and outs of all the parts of the system within the criminal justice system and the family court system. So understanding how everything operates in those aspects, and then really living it in a life of through my siblings, my brothers who were involved in gangs, who were sent to prisons, did time in a penitentiary, or arrested and went to jail. Witnessing all of that coupled with all the other things that I worked in, and then the Batistas that came and basically changed my trajectory and really saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, is the reason that I'm sitting before you, and the reasons that I created this program to save another child just as they saved me.
Wow. What an impact they've had on your life, huh?
Absolutely. And Mrs. Batista,
Impact.
yes, she's still living. She'll be 80 this year. She's back in California, and her husband unfortunately died of cancer, Mr. Batista, in 2011.
She must be so proud of what you've done.
She actually really is. And I shared with her, I should be the one that's proud doing this for you, because you were the one that dropped the seed, and I'm just watering the tree.
Wow.
And it's creating thousands of branches.
Sure has.
Branches of
Sure
life.
has. Now, you're helping all these kids.
Yes.
What age range do you assist? Is it all the way across the spectrum? Or?
Yes. Well, we start at the age of 8. My age group is ages 8 to 18. And 18-year-olds have to be still in the Clark County School District or in a charter school. We don't take children or young adults who are in college. We take them all the way through high school. And the 8-year-olds, I started that at that age because at 8 years old, you can get arrested. That's when I started the program, when I was involved in the juvenile system. And it's never too young, in my opinion. If they're able to go into the juvenile justice system for any case, they're old enough to understand this program is needed in order to keep them out of the system, or to keep them from going back into the system. And the other part of the reason I started at this age, because I had 11 siblings.
Yes.
So I had a brother that's 16, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm witnessing some of the things that they're doing. I knew they weren't right, but I'm still witnessing it. So
Yes.
that also helped me to decide which direction I was going to go. You can go this way, you can go this way. You can get in trouble here, you can get in trouble here, you can stay in the middle, but you have to make a decision. So I learned from them what not to do as well. So
Yes.
They were my training grounds, as I call it. I write in my book. Those are my training grounds.
Well, seeing as you mentioned your book, you've got a couple of books out, and let's talk about the first one.
Yes.
It's called Real Talk.
Yes.
Do you have
Yes,
the book
I have
here?
a copy of Real Talk, Real Stories, Real Change.
Okay. And what prompted you to write the book? Is it a how-to book or a...
No, it's just a testimonial book, right? It shares why I created the program in depth. I go into great detail of my life and what I experienced, and it shares details of some of my speakers' lives, why they ended up in the system. So they give their testimony, and then I share parts of the parents who have come through the program, their testimonies of how it's affected them and their family, the kids' testimonies. We have a UNLV study, or University of Nevada, Las Vegas study from the university in 2017. They did a study on our program, and it reflected that we were reducing the recidivism by 17.5%.
Wow, that's huge.
And
That
so,
is huge.
yes, and so I have that in there. And then
Well,
I have,
congratulations.
thank you. And I have testimonies from our closing guest speakers. And those are people who've never been arrested. They share their testimony of how they became successful without hitting the system. So it's really just a book that is I call it the latter version of Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember that.
It is it's a newer version, but it's called Real Talk, Real Stories, Real
More
Change.
contemporary.
Absolutely. And it shares why I created it and why I wrote the book. I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. I know people have been sharing for years and told me over the years, you need to write a book. And my answer would always be, who has time to write a book?
Yeah. And what would you write about?
Yes. And
so that's obviously you were meant to write it. And
yes. And
call it fate or divine intervention. Who
absolutely
knows?
And it's in the jails right now in the juvenile in the adult jail. I have my book in the adult jail for the inmates and have received tremendous amount of great feedback on the book. You. Yes.
We're going to take a brief sponsorship break.
Okay.
Stay with us, folks, because Cherie's come out with a second book, and we're going to discuss that in the next segment, and also some of the amazing programs that she's implemented. Please stay with us.
Tariffs, pandemics, rising inflation. The Joshua Dowden team is ready when volatility happens. Markets fluctuate for reasons nobody can control. Don't let the headlines drive your financial plan. The Joshua Dowden team at Priority Wealth Partners has served Summerlin retirees for 3 decades. Our 5-tier risk management strategy matches our strategies with your goals, with plans designed for your assets to be there when you need them. Conveniently located at the heart of downtown Summerlin. Call Joshua Dowden today or visit DowdenFinancialServices.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And I'd like to welcome back Cherie Cornell, founder and executive director of Real Talk Youth Impact Program.
Yes.
So now after your first book came out, you then wrote a subsequent book that's called Ready, Set, Glow, GLOW. Yes. So let's talk about that. Do you want to hold up that?
Yes. I really love this book. I'll be quite honest. I love it more than my first book, and partly because the first book was just who I am as far as why this program was created, and just to let people know that whether they're from the system or in the system, that they're not forgotten, right? They still have a chance to tell their story. They can give back, join our program, and share, because what you've gone through in life can actually help somebody else. Mm-hmm. Never forgetting though the victims. I have a segment in my book, the first book, about we don't want to ever forget the victims, because without the criminal justice system, they wouldn't get what they deserve as far as victims. And so mm-hmm. I want to make sure that we never forget the victims. Okay. No. So that's a main point. But the second book, Ready, Set, Glow, it's my spiritual journey. It's me divulging how I believe in an upper being, which is my God. And it's pretty much produced to where I share with people, you don't know your gift until you don't know what your calling is. If you're not searching for your calling, you have to make certain that you have a reason why you're here, right? Everybody has a reason that they're here. I know for a fact I'm abiding in my calling. And this book is about who you are. It's not about me. It's about the person who's reading it. Mm-hmm. And it specifically really has you internalize as you read. And the glow means gifted, love, original, and worthy. And
nice acronym. And
I love it because it's in the second, half of the title is be the light in your darkness. Mm-hmm. So we possess the light. Mm-hmm. We are the light. And some people allow their light to be dimmed because of whatever reasons.
Sure.
But the book is specifically geared to help people take a look at their purpose, get out of this stagnant life that you're in, stop complaining. You have purpose. I also use my affirmations that I have created through my program, and it breaks down everything about the affirmations and who you are and what you're destined to be. And we don't know that until we start really understanding what we are.
Sure. No,
right?
for sure.
And so it's just really a spiritual journey, and telling people, and even if you don't believe in God, if you're agnostic, if you're atheist, whatever, I just hope that this book will have you look at things differently, because the stuff that I have in here about my experiences through life and what I'm doing now with my program, and how everything with my program just lined up. Because I had no money starting this program. I had no money. I went into this program. God had said, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I followed suit, and I started it with nothing. And here,
find a way.
7 years later, well, we're at 12-year anniversary, but at 7 years, I was gifted the building that I'm in. $1.4 million. This gentleman bought this building for me.
Wow.
To operate my program.
Wow.
So,
boy, you really had some good people come into your life. Yes. Somebody donating a building, and Mr. and Mrs. Batista.
Absolutely. And
tell me, where can people purchase your books? Is it available on Amazon?
Yes, absolutely.
Or your website?
So both of my books.
Give out your website information.
Absolutely.
Later,
so both of my books are on Amazon. It's also on our website too. You can go to our website at realtalkyip as in Paul.org. And on Amazon, and if you just type in my name, Cherie D. Cornell, it's located there. Any books that I sell at my program all fundings go to the program.
Program. Well, good for you. So let's talk about your programs now. Mm-hmm. One thing that you have is these Change One meetings.
Yes.
That seems to be a very prominent part of your program, what you do. Would you like to give us some information about your Change One meetings?
Sure.
How often you have them, how many people show up, and the purpose?
So I've been doing the Change One meetings, and just to give a backdrop of it. So Change One meetings, I titled it that because our goal is to change at least one person that comes through our doors. It can be our speakers, it can be a parent, it can be a visitor, it can be the children, it can be our closing guest speakers, it can be staff, volunteers. The goal is to create some type of positive impact in them, and then they are inspired when they leave, not to just do more for us, but maybe just do more for people, have empathy, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's called the Change One meeting. And so for the last 12 years we've been operating, we do this once a month. It's always the first Tuesday of the month. We start at 4:30, we end at 7:30. It's a full program. Mm-hmm. And in that program, we have 3 things that operate at the same time. We have that mandatory parent group. It's a 4-month-long program at one time a month. Mm-hmm. And so in our mandatory parent group, our speakers, 2 males and a female and a therapist, they're in one section of the building with the parents. And that's the type of platform where the parents are able to share whatever they're dealing with their kids. It can be anything. It can, let me just back up. There's 4 types of families that we get coming to the program. We have the families that say, you know what, my son or daughter has not had any issues. They're living a great life. I just want to keep them grounded. I'm going to bring them through this program. The second type of parents we have are those parents who are from the court system. The kids already got into trouble. Now they have to be court ordered to come to my program. The third type of parents are those parents that are just to search because they feel that something is going on with their child. They can't put a finger on it, but they're not feeling good about it. So I want to give them a checkup. I want to make sure that my child understand the do's and don'ts of life because they're not seeing it from me, or they don't want to hear from me anymore. And then the fourth set of parents are those parents who sought us out. They heard about us word of mouth because their daughter or son are involved in activities and we just can't afford to pay for it anymore. Mm-hmm. So they seek us out because we actually sponsor the kids up to $150 a month, providing they have a 2.0 with passing grades. They remain in compliance. They give us a thank you letter expressing gratitude. And they give us a copy of their report card and the W-9 from the vendor because we want to make sure they're filing their taxes. So those parents come in specifically really for the money, but we always tell them it's an educational program first. Okay. So we take all these kids, and then the meeting itself is really based around the speakers who are ex-felons or people who've been system affected, whether they're on parole or probation right now or they're pending a sentence to go to prison. Those are the type of speakers that we have. And they get 15 minutes apiece to share their testimony.
So how many speakers do you have at these meetings?
So
They
technically,
speak 15 minutes.
we typically have about 10 speakers because
Oh
we
my.
have 3 sections of
Yes.
the program. So the main program in the big auditorium with about 80 kids and about 25 to 30 other people. The kids are spoken to for 15 minutes by 2 males and a female in that group. And they get that 15 minutes, not to glorify what they've done, just to share how they ended up in the system and to try and educate the kids about the do's and don'ts and not make the same mistakes they make.
Do you have trouble finding the speakers to come and speak, or is it part of their community service to?
No, yes and no to that question. We don't take people who are wanting to do community service. We want them there because they have to be there, because they want to be there. A lot of it's word of mouth. Typically I was able to, because I was a parole officer, I was able to get into the system to check caseloads to see which person would fit. Well, I'm since retired, so I'm not able to do that. So a lot of it is word of mouth. And also I share with our speakers. You need to start helping seek out the people that we need here. You know what we want. We want people who are legit, on task, and doing great things now that they've recovered, so to speak, from their criminal lifestyle. But they love the program. My guys and girls, some of them have been with me 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, 9 years. I just had some new speakers come on board too.
How many people actually attend these meetings every month?
We have about 120 people every month.
Show up every month.
Yes, for the first.
Is it the
Tuesday.
same people that keep coming back, or vary? Some of them come back and others you see once and then they disappear? Or?
No, we have we have, depending on where you are in the program as a child, right? As a participant, you have 4 months to graduate. And so they come every month for 4 months. And let me just back up shortly, because we have a third piece of the group, which is we call our processing group. And those are the kids who are getting ready to graduate. And they sit in with Dr. Keith and they review our workbook journal, or our workbook for the program. And they go over what they've learned. And they sit in the midst with Dr. Keith, 2 of our also ex-felons, so a female and a male, so they can kind of share what their feelings are. It's a more intimate setting. So it's probably about 8 to 10 kids. And that graduate. We have graduations every month typically. And so that's another piece that happens during that whole Change One meeting, and then, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And so the final piece to that is our closing guest speaker. And that's the person that actually comes after all of this discussion has happened in the 3 meetings, and the 3 times, the things that are happening that evening. We bring everybody to the big auditorium, and then we have our closing guest speaker who sheds light on how they became successful without entertaining the unfortunate criminal justice system that we have. And so the big picture for all of this is this. We try to paint the picture to the kids. Here's what happens when you follow the rules. Here's what happens when you don't. That's the big picture, and that's why that closing guest speaker comes in. And we've had speakers we just had the Attorney General in January. We've had Justice Court closing guest speakers. We've had many judges coming in. We've had lay community folks coming in who own their own businesses, all walks of life, fire captains, you name it. Our Supreme Court justice as well came in and spoke.
Sounds like an amazing program. We really are having an impact. We're going to take another sponsorship break. Please stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Introducing Pacific Coast Capital, your partner in finance. We provide financing for your business. Speed, flexibility, and creativity are the foundation of our service. We'll help you navigate through change and opportunities. Our 90-plus years of experience ensures quick turnaround on loan decisions. Ride the wave to prosperity with us. Ready for new funding? Visit our website today at pacificcoastcap.com.
Country roads take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Here comes a triple yodel. Adi-yodel-ay, the-little-lee-oh, the-little-lee-oh, oh-oh-wee.
back, everyone, and I'd like to thank again our guest today, Cherie Cornell, founder and executive director of Real Talk Youth Impact Program. And I'd like to start this section, Cherie. On your website, you mentioned the importance of involvement in community activities. Could you elaborate a little bit on that and explain why it's important?
Sure.
You know?
I'm a firm believer that getting your kids involved in some type of extracurricular activity is a game changer. I believe it's so because I'm here and proof that it is a game changer. No matter what you do, it can be kid wanting to join a chess club, or it doesn't have to be athletics. It can be anything, but they should be engaged in something that is either mentally or physically using their mind outside of what the kids are doing today, which is the cell phones. So, but I'm an advocate, and that's why I created the program like it is, because I wanted to share the criminal aspect of it. If you don't and get involved in this, and you end up doing things you shouldn't do, like my siblings, all of us were born for a purpose, as I stated earlier. But with my siblings, they all were engaged in activities. We played. We didn't have money, but we were really good athletes. But unfortunately, they still chose the wrong route. So that's the big vision, to get to these kids that even if you are getting involved, engaged in some activities, you're still not exempt for getting into trouble. So that's the caveat that I want to stress to our kids who get involved in activities. Not only is it a great tool for you to have, but you still have to make those decisions. So this is about choices. The program is all about choices and teaching them about choices. And so what we do, this caveat to the program, we offer them whatever they want to do. We're going to support it up to $150 a month, as long as you meet that criteria. And any child can sign up for it. So we encourage that. We have sponsors for that, right? We have parents or people who actually donate specifically just to participate in supporting a child's activity.
And do they go online? Is there a form that they fill out to apply?
No,
to this, or?
No, actually, so it all happens in-house, right? When they're at the
Okay.
program, they fill out a sheet at the program, and then I follow up with them. The beauty of this program, because, again, working in law enforcement and having a caseload of dealing with offenders on my caseload, you have to be immediate, so to speak, with getting people engaged in activities. So, these kids, if they sign up and they meet all the criteria, we can get them funded within 9 days. So on the 8th day, I can start making payments for Johnny to do karate or jujitsu or baseball, football, basketball. As long as they meet that criteria, we can get them funded. And it's been impactful.
Yes.
We've given away to date now this month it'll be over $350,000 to kids' activities.
Wow. And that's a load of money.
And we'll be sponsoring now it should be close to 330 plus kids that we've sponsored over the last 11 years, because 11 years we were funded.
Yes, I think I saw on your website. Yes, I think it had on your website. It probably needed updating. It says 2,200. So maybe the website needs
2,200. Interesting. Yes. No.
Yes.
It should be. No. We're at 330. We had $340,000+ given out.
Yeah, maybe that was
350
a month or something like that.
That's probably the amount of kids. It was the amount of kids, because our amount of kids is 2,300 now. Plus
there you go.
2,300 kids.
And that's what I was seeing.
Yes.
Yes.
2,300 kids, and I must add too, this program is free.
Yes.
So I wanted to make certain that the audience knew this is a free program, and the reason that it's free is because I look again back at the Batistas, right?
Yes.
They took nothing from my parents. My parents were grateful. They were responsible for assisting me with getting where I'm at today. And I look at it as I'm just that extended branch from what the Batistas did for me. I'm giving back because I should give back, because without them, these kids wouldn't be able to do the activities that they're doing within my program.
It's incumbent on all of us that have been given so much to give some of it
Absolutely.
back. There's no question about that. I'd like to talk a little bit about, now you've got a new venture that you've started, public speaking, and it's called Picking Up the Pieces.
God's really interesting. So he's pivoted me, still working with the kids. This is my calling, but he's directed me in another spot to be doing inspirational speaking.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing right now currently a women's series, and I've done 2 of them so far. My new series, my new engagement or business, side business is Cherie Inspires, and I've had 2 series already. The first one was my first series for the women was I'll bend before I break. The second series was Precious Cargo. And my third series is going to be called Picking Up the Pieces.
Okay.
And it's always the last Thursday of the month. I host it at my program. For now, the goal is to inspire people with my life and what I've been through and what God has brought me through, and the challenges that we all face. And through my experiences as a child, experiences as an adult, as a probation officer, as a juvenile officer, as a entrepreneur, as a founder of this program, as a game changer, as a life changer. I share my experiences about the tragedies that I've had within my family, the experiences I was able to, again, by the Batistas, become a Olympian for the Puerto Rican national team. They're responsible for getting me linked up with the Puerto Rican national team and traveling all over the world. So I have this plethora of experience and wisdom that has allowed me to give what I'm supposed to give people that need it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where I believe God has directed me to, and on top of promoting the book for them to find self and find their calling. This is where I'm at, to share who I am and what I am, in hopes that I can encourage people to believe, encourage people to find their passion and run with it.
And now, where do people sign up for that? Did they go to the Real Talk Youth Impact Program website?
No, that will be it's on Eventbrite. They'll look up Eventbrite. I offer for free right now. It's free. It's under Cherie Inspires on the Eventbrite. They can go to my website too. It's just CherieInspires.com, and they can see the flyer, and they can sign up at that realm too.
CherieInspires.com.
Yes.
Okay. So that's where they can learn about that. Okay. Boy, you're really making an impact here, Cherie, in more ways than one, that's for sure. Let me ask you this. Is Real Talk, is that manned by staff and or volunteers, or is it all volunteers? Combination of both?
There's 3 staff, everyone. Ready?
Okay.
Me, myself, and I.
Oh.
We're the only paid staff.
Okay.
But other than that, no. I've been blessed with volunteers and interns from the university here at UNLV. The only problem with that is they all leave. So I'm back to training and training.
You're always looking for new volunteers?
Always looking for volunteers that are willing to stay at least a year.
Okay.
We have attempted to get funding for years. It just hasn't happened. So we only, we work off of whatever donations that fall in our lap, right?
I was going to ask you where you get funding. Do you get any government grants or state grants?
We haven't received a government grant for forever. I can't even tell you when we received the last government grant. We go through what we call here locally the JAG, Juvenile Assistance Grant. You apply for that. You have to wait actually a year before you even get it if you're accepted. So there's small grants that we've applied for here and there, but nothing to the point where we can actually hire employees.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate thing, right? We've been blessed. I just have to say we've been blessed because every time we need money, it falls in our lap. The lights have never been turned off.
Somebody's watching out for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Some angels looking out over you. For sure.
The lights have never been turned off. Like I said earlier, we've had over 2,300 kids through our program. We've graduated over 1,200 kids. We have a total of about 40 kids every month returning who have graduated to continue to receive checks or funding for their activity. That's how it works as well. See, this is a program you can stay forever as long as our money keeps coming in to pay them. But we get kids who have graduated and they want to continue to do their boxing, their Muay Thai boxing, their basketball, football when they graduate. So I have always shared, if we continue to get money, you can continue to get funding afterward. The only thing they're required to do is turn into volunteers.
I was going to say, hopefully some of them will
They
turn
turn in,
back and
yes, they
become
turn in, they
volunteers.
must volunteer
Yeah.
once a month at the Tuesday night meeting, the first Tuesday of the month,
Come
in order to
Good.
continue for us to pay for their
pay
funding.
for them.
And their
Good.
parents have to give
Cool.
us 40 hours a year.
Good. That's good.
Yes.
Now, do you have any planned upcoming fundraisers?
We do. So we have a annual fundraiser golf tournament, which
Mhm.
is going to be taking place in February. We're kind of trying to lock down the dates right now. We have a board meeting tonight to confirm which one we're going to go with, but it's going to be sometime mid-February at this point. And that's really our only fundraiser for the year. We work off of trying to get small grants and donations, and the majority of our funding, to be quite honest, is about 80% comes from private donors.
Wow.
Yes.
It's good that the public is giving you, the support that
Oh, yes.
clearly you need and helps you get through.
Absolutely.
Would you like to give out your website? And I'm assuming that
Sure.
down the road the golf tournament's going to be on your website.
Oh, yes,
telling
absolutely.
So would you like to let people know the contact information where people can learn more about your organization?
Yes.
Hopefully they'll get some volunteers, some donations, and
Absolutely.
give out your phone number.
Yes,
website,
absolutely.
contact
So
information.
all of you there, we'd love for you to take part in joining us, and even at a monthly meeting if you're local, but you can reach us at realtalkyip.org. You can contact us via phone at 702-625-2417. Would love to hear from you guys. Drop us a note. We're looking for volunteers and part-time workers if we can get you the funding, and any donations that we would love to take from you guys.
Very good. You really are. You call yourself a youth impact program. You
Yes.
truly are making an impact, Sherry, and
Thank you.
you're doing the Lord's work. And thank you for that. And thank you for taking time out of your schedule and being a guest on our program today.
Absolutely.
Wish you continued success with the
Thank
Real Talk Youth Impact Program and with your inspirational speaking sessions.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys
Congratulations.
having me. Thank you.
Good luck with your books too.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in today. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me at stephen@thegiftofgiving.vegas. I'd also like to thank our show's producer, John Stiles, and station owner for being with us today and producing this show. And especially I'm grateful for our sponsors, Pacific Coast Capital, Priority Wealth Partners, the Firelight Barn, and my late business partner, Ralph John Champion. You will hear his message at the end of this program. And I'd like to thank the friends of the Gift of Giving. These are the anonymous donors who help keep our program going every week. Once again, I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. I hope you'll join us again soon. Please share this interview with anybody who you know could benefit from it or who would be willing to volunteer or donate. And hopefully we'll see you next week. In the meantime, be safe, be kind to one another, and see you soon. Bye for now.
Mr. R.J. Champion is proud to sponsor WWDB-TV's series, The Gift of Giving, and wishes the program much success. Congratulations and gratitude to the featured guests and the organizations they represent. Our community is well served by your tireless efforts to make Nevada a better state for all its residents.